All right. This is White Rocket Entertainment podcast number 931. From Southern Illinois and Eastern Virginia. I didn't do the intro part. I'll stick it in here now. Looking ahead to the Georgia game and to the upcoming Auburn basketball season, the AU Wishbone is next. From Southern Illinois and Eastern Virginia, it's the AU Wishbone annual chicken finger basketball preview episode, along with the Georgia Bulldog football preview. We've got a jam-packed show tonight. We have a few news items, a few other things to talk about. I am your host, Van Allen Plexico, joined as always by my co-host.
I'm John Ringer.
So, John, we got to cover quite the ground tonight, and we've got news about what we'll be doing, what the football team will be doing, what the basketball team will be doing. A lot of stuff going on. Do we want to go with the rage meter or the fun meter tonight?
I want to keep the fun meter. So I don't want it. The part of the fun meter is sometimes it's not going to be high.
I know, but 2 weeks ago we were down into rage meter territory.
It was appropriate. It was appropriate. It was absolutely the right call. But every time we lose, sometimes it's just a low fun meter, right?
That's fair. So therefore, it's the Auburn Fun Meter, our weekly look at how much fun it is to be an Auburn fan on a scale of 0 to 10 right now. So, John, how much fun is it to be an Auburn fan this very week?
Well, let's be clear. I'm very excited about upcoming home game against Georgia at night. Very excited about that. And basketball season on the horizon. So those two things give me a little bit of positive energy. I'm going to say I'm a 5.
Well, you and I are both going to be at the Auburn-Georgia game, which was unexpected and not really planned, just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and make it a 6 because of that. Plus, I feel good about the basketball season. I feel,
Amen.
I mean, we may not have another Final Four team this year because we're rebuilding from almost scratch. I guess scratch being our little point guard, our scrappy little point guard, but we're almost. So let's see. What do we want to do first tonight?
I think it's time we should start with chicken.
We start with the chicken. All right. You want to tell us what you've got?
Yeah, I have.
I'm going to actually change clothes while you're doing that because I don't want to get chicken on my nice new Auburn
important hoodie. Van's wearing a very nice new Nike Auburn hoodie. This is the chicken finger prediction episode suggested by a listener who comes in listener questions later and identifies himself. So we have that to look forward to. This, like the barbecue episode, it was inspired by, this is an episode where we will eat on the air, we will taste of the chicken fingers, and we will imbibe the chicken fingers, and like the auguries of ancient Greece and Rome, they will inspire us and lead us to, visions about what might happen with basketball or what will happen with basketball. And then we will talk about that on the air. So we have a set number of questions. We're not going to predict every SEC basketball team because that would be insane.
Too many. There's just
there's too many and there's too much turnover. And I want to say this up front.
Yeah.
If your brain isn't ready for college basketball yet or Auburn basketball yet, you can blame me because I scheduled this episode and I looked at the calendar and said we got a football off week. The SEC media days is next week. Auburn has a scrimmage next week. There'll be a lot of basketball news coming out now. It's a good time to do it. And then I went back and looked at last year, and we did it a good month later last season. We had already played Houston.
Wow.
And had the airplane incident and the Houston game win before we did the chicken finger episode. So that's on me. I scheduled a little aggressively, but we're going to roll with it. And then we'll revisit.
I would say the problem was last year then, not this year, because we're coming in hot right before the season starts, which is kind of when you want to do this kind of thing. So nobody's complaining about doing the chicken finger episode tonight. The only complaint I have, and this is on me, okay, here's how it went down, is I, after work, went and got chicken fingers from my whole family, brought them home, we ate them, and then I texted John like, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, I ate so many chicken fingers and stuff and French fries. And I texted John like, we can go ahead and start whenever you want to. He's like, yeah, in about 20 minutes, because you were on your way, you were getting the chicken.
I was in the drive-through and texted me, so.
which psychologically for me was great. I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it. Let's get it done, early tonight. So I'm not up till freaking 1 o'clock in the morning, editing this. And then as soon as I said that, I'm like, oh gosh, I got to eat chicken again. I just ate chicken. So let's unveil what your chicken is.
I have the box from Cane's. I got the regular box with tenders and fries. I get no slaw, extra fries, and I got an extra sauce because that's the good stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you on everything except I got to get the slaw.
I know you're a slaw person. We forgive you.
Hey, I like having like the little miniature salad thing with my. Remember, JF Fingers used to actually.
You know what? It makes it healthy.
Just carry on. We won't even talk about that. All right. So I too went to Raising Cane's, and I have the cup there with my sweet tea in it. I bought. It's funny. They don't want. Cheers. They don't want drinks from there. So I just got 3 cups of sweet tea and putting ice in it. It's good to go. And I've got a backup here to refill it. I'm going to be up all night, but that's all right. I'll be energetic.
I'm drinking Sprite. If I drank sweet tea right now, I'd be in real danger of not sleeping.
Exactly, 100%. But I got the Raising Cane's, the box, and it's actually more in it than normal because it's like everything left over from dinner is in this box. And then I've actually also got, in addition to the slaw and the extra sauce, I've got a little bit of ranch from Red Robin, because we had Red Robin the other night, and this was what was good. Amy heated up in the air fryer our leftover Red Robin fries. Raising Cane's chicken fingers with Red Robin French fries, son. I don't love Raising Cane's French fries. They're not the best.
Fair.
Guthrie's are way better, but Red Robin with those big steak fries, you can't go wrong. So I'm pretty full.
All
right. So what are we going to do?
All right. So this is how this is going to work. I'm going to read out a statement, and then the two of us will eat chicken. And we got to warn people again, we will be this is not a gimmick. We will be eating food on the air. If that bothers you, maybe skip ahead about 20 minutes to the Georgia stuff.
This may not be the show for you if you don't like people eating delicious food on the air. We do it twice a year now.
That's it. So I'm going to read a statement. We're both going to take a bite of chicken, and the chicken and the sauce will help us channel the raw hoops knowledge. And then we'll get into answering the question. All right.
Lord, this is just like a disaster waiting to happen. I don't know how to do it with the barbecue. I need to redo my entire desk setup here just for like the barbecue and the chicken finger episode, because it takes up so much space. Oh, there it is. All right. Now I can't get to the microphone and the chicken at the same time. This is going to be a challenge.
All right.
Oh, let me I'm getting ready. I'm getting there. All right.
By the way, getting ready.
I already broke this one up, so I've got a handy little piece all ready to go here. Let me get the sauce open. I got two sauces.
You're doing that, I'm going to read our first statement. Okay, I like it. Auburn will play 3 games in a big tournament in Las Vegas the week of Thanksgiving. What will Auburn's record be in those 3 games? So as a reminder, if you're not familiar with that, the games in Vegas include Michigan, Oregon, and then one game TBD based on how Auburn does. Auburn will play. This is the week of Thanksgiving instead of the Hawaii tournament. Auburn will play in this players tournament in Las Vegas. So Oregon, Michigan, and one game TBD. Take a bite of chicken and then tell me what will Auburn's record be in those 3 games.
There's a war going on in my mouth because on the one hand, history says we do good in these kind of things, but we have a new coach and a completely new team. It really is a completely different Auburn.
It is.
It's a new day. Quote Gus, it's a new day.
We knew last year what we had, and this year we really don't know.
So, John, the chicken is telling me to be optimistic, but even so, I can't go better than 2-1.
Agree.
I mean, if we were to go 3-0 in that thing, as they say, Katie bar the door.
Look out, kids.
Yeah, it would be like last year going and beating Houston, beating Purdue, whatever, and thinking, "Wow,
Iowa State." Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This is I think that's very possible. I think we could go out there and go 1-2 easily. These are going to be really good teams. Definite NCAA tournament teams are going to be playing. So, all right, we're going to move on to the next one.
I'm opening the slaw fork as we prepare.
Okay. Clearly a clear mistake by opening the slaw fork at this stage. Later, after that, Auburn goes to Arizona on December 6th. We play at the McHale Memorial Center in Tucson on Saturday, December 6th. What will the result of that game be?
All right. Is that just a regular game, Auburn, Arizona, just like we were playing?
Yep. It's just a regular non-conference game. Like we're going, it's not part of a tournament or any, Big 12 thing. It's just Auburn, Arizona.
Man. It's so much harder this year because we know so little. All we really have to go by is what we're being told, that they're, they have potential. They're good. They're going to be a more fast break offense team.
Mm-hmm.
Hope everybody's enjoying watching us eat a fine Raising Cane's chicken fingers meal here.
There we go.
I
agree.
That was some good slaw.
This is a pure road game at a good place that's won a bunch and is going to be a top 20 team. I'm going to say we're not going to win. I just think this team is young and raw at this point, still figuring it out. And there's going to be some days when, especially on the defensive end early, it's not working.
That's the thing, is that it was easier last year to say we're going to win these really tough games on the road and whatever than it is this year.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to have a reason to say we're going to win. So I agree. I think it could be close, but I don't know that we can beat Arizona in our third game ever as a basketball team, really.
Agree.
There's only so much Tahad can do.
Well, it's also, I think you're making a really good point. I think early in the season is going to be, last year's team was so experienced. They were steady and you got a more even performance. I think this year's team, the performance in the non-conference is going to be way more up and down, I think.
Well, and that's right. I think about this. Last year's team actually may have started out better and actually gotten less good over time between injuries and people kind of figuring stuff out and all. At the beginning of the season, they were in top form. I don't think that we can expect I don't think it would be fair to expect this year's team to be in top form in November or December.
That's a really good point. This may be a team that gets better over the course of a year as they mesh.
Exactly. The other way around.
Last year's team came out gangbusters. All right. Number 3, when Auburn plays Purdue in Indianapolis.
Ooh.
The date will be December 20th. So right before Christmas in Indianapolis, we'll play Purdue. This is the exchange for the Birmingham game. What will the results be?
Well, let me just say first, before I eat the chicken, as two people who remember playing Indiana in Indianapolis in the NCAA tournament, I would love to go into Indianapolis and beat an Indiana-related team like Purdue.
Agree.
I would love it. All right, here comes the chicken.
We are owed that.
This is some good chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes of Bobby Knight's gym socks.
Ouch.
I don't know. I think it would be a big upset if we were to win this game.
Agree.
I think we've got players coming back, right?
Yeah, and again, it's more of a home court thing for them. So I don't know about this one, but I think it may be 195 or something too. So they got that point guard coming back. He's pretty good. So
yeah.
All right. Before we get into the next wave of things, I just wanted to take a minute, continue our conversation about the difference between this year's team and last year's team. I think if you haven't read anything or heard anything or thought about the difference with all the new players coming in, I would just want to tell you that last year's team was a slow it down, play half court offense and play half court defense at a really high level, execute team. And this year's team is going to be much more of an up and down, spread them out, full court press, shoot 3-pointers, and the drive to the basket kind of team. More like the 2019 Final Four offense and defense than last year's team. If sometimes you didn't like last year how deliberate we were, and they were really efficient, but we slowed it down on offense and worked it around the Janai and stuff. On the other end, we're not going to have Janai and Dylan on defense, and we're going to have some days when the other team gets to the basket a lot, and it's going to bother me, but it is what it is. So,
did I see Dylan's brother listed as a guard?
He's
not a center.
He's a much smaller player than his brother.
Well, it seems like okay. That just surprised me, but okay. So yeah, it is going to be a very different team, but they do have some experience from other teams coming in. I mean, it could be a team of this is going to be kind of like a team of Chad Baker Mazzaras and Denver Joneses and that kind of thing, right? It's going to be, and a couple of guys that are bigger at this stage in their careers than Chad and Denver were when they came to Auburn.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we didn't get guys that are like hidden gems so much this time as we got people that were very notable gems, and we brought them in together. It's almost like a little all-star team in a way.
It is, but I think there's a good mix of transfers from power schools, transfers from smaller places, and true freshmen who have a lot of upside. I think there's a good balance there, I think. And then at the center of it all is Tahad Pettiford, right, who was awesome last year in a limited role, and now he's like he gets his own movie, You know,
when you said limited role, what that just made me realize, last year, as good as Tahad was, we really made a lot of hay off of Denver's defense. So without that, we don't really know right now where the defense is going to come from. I mean, Tahad was probably going to be even better than he was last year at that, obviously, but it was awfully nice to be able to go from Tahad to Denver Jones when you needed like super defense on the other team's shooters.
Yeah.
I don't know where they go for that this year.
I think Overton is that guy. Kevin Overton played at Texas Tech, and that's a school that's serious about defense. And so I think he's an experienced Division I player that played, good defense and limited minutes in the Big 12 and a good system, but also has the right kind of size to be a good defensive guard. I think he has, he's a much bigger, stronger guy than Tahad or, Magwood or some of these other guys. So he's a guy that, because he has some experience, he has some better size. I think he'll be the guy we put in the other team's best guards.
Okay.
And I think, as you noted, he's part of a mix of kind of experienced guys. Overton, Keyshawn Hall, Keyshawn Murphy are with Tahad are the four guys that are going to be the experienced core of this team. They're going to be the steadying factors, I think.
Keyshawn Hall is a Central Florida guy, right?
Yep.
He's the one I've been
scoring.
I've been excited about him from day one. I'm really looking forward to him out there just wreaking havoc. He looks like a little Charles Barkley out there, kind of.
He does. He's going to play power forward, but he's like 6'7", 250.
Mm-hmm.
I said this last year when we signed him. Yes.
Think Tasmanian Devil.
It's a good comparison. I said this when we signed him. I saw him play in person. He was on George Washington a couple years ago, and they played VCU, and he was the best player in the court that whole game. And he did everything. He scored, he rebounded, he passed, he played defense. He was by far the best player in the court and just influenced the game in a lot of ways. And then he went to Central Florida last year, led the Big 12 in scoring. He can really make a difference. And I think he's going to be, after Tahad, I think he's going to be kind of the offensive star of this team.
Yeah, I hope so. And along with the Mississippi State center guy, hopefully he'll come around too.
I mean, I think Murphy's going to be fine. He's exactly what we need, a big physical guy who could play inside defense in the SEC. He's not going to get pushed around. He can rebound and play defense. And he'll give us, 8, 10 points and 10 rebounds a game and play good defense. I mean, that's what we need in the middle right now.
And there's also the Filip Jovic, the Eastern European guy. Suddenly we're like an NBA team. We've got to have the one Eastern European guy out there.
But I think the early reports on him are he needs a little bit of development. Like he's got a lot of athletic ability, but there's a big step up from playing the SEC schools. I think the other transfer guys to watch is this Elijah Freeman, who came to Division II. He's going to be playing small forward probably, and he is super athletic, a really good scorer, and a good defender. I think he's going to be like a fun, a more athletic Chuma at small forward kind of player, like a guy that can do everything. He can shoot, he can score, he can go to the basket, he can play rebound and play good defense. He's thin, okay? I mean, he's tall and thin. I think, if we gave him another year or two in the weight program, he might be an absolute, all SEC, all American kind of force. But I think he's a really good scorer. I think probably going to start him at small forward and Hall at power forward, and Murphy at center. And then we got 3 freshmen, one of whom, Simon Walker's injured. Magwood is the freshman point guard who's going to back up Tahad, play some shooting guard. He's explosive, really good shooter. They had a big scrimmage the other day in front of the NBA scouts, and the 2 leading scorers were Keyshawn Hall and Magwood.
Well, that's where I was going, but we'll see if the chicken wants to.
And the last guy I want to talk about is Sebastian Williams-Adams, the other true freshman who's a power forward, who I think is kind of in the short term past Jovic in terms of playing time. I think he's going to be the backup power forward and maybe, play a good bit, he's a true freshman, but he's a big physical guy that can rebound, and that's, and make a few shots. So I think we need him. All right. The next chicken finger question is, which player leads this team in scoring?
Going to the chicken.
A much tougher question than last year.
Yeah. Last year, I think we couldn't have possibly missed it. That chicken tastes like Tasmanian Devil. Gonna get a little slaw before it gets hot. and finish that off. Good old fries dipped in the chicken sauce. Lordy. Still tastes like Tasmanian Devil to me. I'm going to go Central Florida guy, Keyshawn Hall.
All right. I'm going to go Tahad. I think he takes it up a couple levels, and he's going to score like 18, 19 points a game, lead the team.
Nothing wrong with that. If he's making those shots, if he's knocking down threes, God bless.
I think Hall's a good pick, though. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that breaks out.
If it's not one of those two, who would it be?
Freeman, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Murphy, the center, is that big a scorer. He could. I mean, it could be a thing where everybody's scoring around 15 a game, and he gets some. But I don't think anybody else. I could see it happening. So,
no, I don't. I mean, you have to kind of be. You have to have the year that. My brain is fried from too much sweet tea. That our center last year. Oh my God. Janai. You have to have the kind of year that Janai had last year for the center to be the leading scorer.
And I don't think he's gonna get that many touches. Janai
exactly. I think Murphy will be fine. He'll do what we need him to do, but he's not going to go out there. And in fact, if you didn't fully appreciate what Janai Broom was doing last year, you're going to appreciate it after a few games this year. I'm not saying we'll be worse. It'll just be so different that you'll realize, man, we don't have that one big guy we can just get the ball to, and he just lays it in like it's nothing, because it's not nothing.
It's going to say scoring in the half court is going to be harder.
Yeah. He made it look like nothing, but it ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So the next question for the chicken is Auburn will finish where in the regular season basketball stuff?
I'm going to need some chicken for this. Some like serious. Let me carve out like a chunk for that, because that's tough. That's some tough chicken to answer right there. Oh, man. Out of 16 teams, and I don't think the national media has been ranking us up highly, have they?
No.
But we know we almost always end up better than they predict.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think they had us going to the Final Four last year.
No.
Winning the SEC. What do you think? How many losses? I'm sorry. How far down out of 16 will we go?
I'm going to say Auburn finishes 4th out of 16.
4th is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be because the other thing we talked about a lot is 4th gets you that double bye in the SEC tournament, and that's valuable. So I think we'll be, in good position and able to use that.
Well, Florida, Kentucky will be up there as usual. Alabama could. Tennessee always is in the mix. But I think we'll be fighting somebody else for that 4th spot.
Yeah, that's a good call. All right. So we're going to make some predictions for some other teams now with some chicken.
Are we going to do the NCAA?
Well, that's the last question. We're doing that.
I'm sorry. I scrolled too far. You're right. We're
going to do a few other teams, and then we're going to pick the NCAA tournament future for this team. So
my bad.
The rest of the SEC is like Auburn this year. Well, the SEC returned a ton of talent a year ago and had a lot of teams that were stacked with experience. And the SEC had a lot of Sweet 16 teams and a lot of Elite 8 teams. But among the 8 teams that had winning conference records last year, only Missouri returns more than 2 starters.
Wow. That's incredible.
Not like last year where everybody had a ton of experience back.
Even Florida only returns.
Yeah, Florida lost all their guards. They had their big guys,
good.
but they lost all their guards.
Please clap.
Yeah, I will applaud that happily. Oh, by the way, in the comments, Jared says, haiku, poultry is flowing. Predictions are incoming. The future is told. Well, again.
Please clap.
Well done, Jared, as always. We appreciate it. All right. Man, so that's that really is remarkable. Only Missouri has more than 2 coming back.
Among the good teams, only Missouri has more than 2 starters. Yeah. There's a lot of transfers, a lot of freshmen, a lot of guys, moving within the conference even. So, do we want to do picks for other teams? You ready?
Yeah, we'll just do a handful. We're not going to do the whole thing or anything.
No, good gosh, no. We don't know anything. All right, so we're going to pick Alabama. They have LeBaron Filan come back, which nobody expected, kind of, and then Aiden Holloway. They lost a lot of their big guys. That's going to be a challenge for them. So, and they lost Sears, which nobody is sad to see go. So,
trying to find my. I had my note. I just made a couple of quick notes about this, and I don't know what I did with them. Aha. Okay. So 18 SEC games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama goes. Go to the chicken. Going to the chicken, John. Get some slaw in there. Prime the pump. Well, chicken is telling me 12-6.
Agree. That's pretty optimistic for them, but I agree. I think they're in it. All right. Florida, the preseason number 1 team in a lot of places. Preseason SEC pick for sure. Not the number 1 team.
Need more chicken. John and I die of heart attacks later tonight. We are eating fried chicken on the air, but it is only 7:37 my time, 8:37 his time. I'm going to go a little to the bread this time. Florida. The chicken is telling me 14-4.
That's exactly where my head was.
I'm glad our chickens got together and talked before the show so that they would be telling us kind of the same thing. Again, you can imagine that conversation like,
yeah. Florida's gonna be really good, but we saw last year like those guards saved their bacon a bunch. So
they did indeed. They did indeed. I'm still haunted by the fact that we led Florida in the Final Four game in the second half, and what ended up killing us was a combination of not being able to stop their guards down the stretch and missing key shots when we had them late. They made their shots in the last quarter of the game, and we did not. And that's why they went to the national championship and won, and we didn't.
That's right.
I go back and look at We Some Dogs, missing a couple of those big threes, and I'm just like, man, you would hit those earlier in the season, but everybody's shot percentage just started trailing off a little bit.
Yep.
Going into the postseason, and it was just nothing you could do.
All right.
Who's next?
Kentucky, everybody's favorite basketball villain.
But they're going to be better, right?
Yep. Agreed. They added a lot of talent. Last year, they were terrible on defense. They focused on getting good defensive players. They got that guy transfer from Alabama, Diabute. It was a pain for us in those games, and a bunch of other good players. So they're still going to be good on offense, but they're going to go like 12 deep with guys who can play.
Going to the chicken. Huh? Really? Now the chicken is telling me something. I got to have another bite because I'm not sure I believe it. John, the chicken is saying 13-5.
Wow.
No,
I buy that.
I'm not sure where the upsets are coming from, but
They got to go on the road. Not always playing at home. It's going to be tough.
and again, with new teams, new players and all, you can't really predict other than what the chicken says.
That's right.
I may have gotten a hold of some crazy chicken. Who knows? But that's what
Crazy
he said.
chicken.
Or maybe crazy chicken.
We could skip Arkansas because we don't know. We're just going to say we don't know that one. All right.
Yeah.
Now the big one, NCAA tournament prediction
Back
for
to the chicken.
this Auburn team. Go to the chicken.
Glad I brought a lot of chicken. NCAA tournament prediction. Well, first, we got to predict they're going to make it or not, right? Gotta get some slaw for this. Gotta get a couple of fries. This needs like the deluxe treatment.
All right. I think they're going to, it's chicken fingers, and they're telling us the fate of this Auburn basketball team in terms of the NCAA tournament. I think they're going to make the tournament. I think they're going to be like a 4 or 5 seed, something like that.
That's not what the chicken's telling me, but go on.
What I'm listening.
It's telling me like a 7 or 8 seed.
Okay, 7 or 8 seed.
Maybe even, well, you remember, you get like an 8-9 seed, you end up playing the same team as yourself in the first round, and then you get like the number 1 team.
Yeah.
So what you really don't want is an 8 or 9 seed. Well, I mean, you don't want 16, but you're not going to get that as an SEC team. So as an SEC team that's not going to really get seeded lower than about 12, you do not want 8 or 9. Because like if we're 8 or 9, we'll play like a Texas A&M type team in the first round, and then we'll get like Duke in the second round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm all up for playing them, but that's not the path you want that gets you deep in the tournament. You see what I'm saying? You want a little higher seed, so you get a little lower seed as your competition in the first round, like we got last year. Was it Alabama State or A&M or something? Yeah. And then a decent but not great team in the second round. So yeah, I'm saying 7 seed.
7 seed. All right.
Because we might even need a little help in the SEC tournament to get in the NCAA tournament, depending on how the season goes. We just don't know. Surely not, but you don't want to lose in the first round if you don't have to. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. It may not hurt you, but it doesn't help you to lose in the first round of the SEC tournament if you're sitting on, whatever our record might be. So, did we say our prediction of our record for this team?
We did not.
I have thoughts on it if you want me to give. Yep. I went through the schedule and I calculated 10-8 in the SEC
in conference,
and 19-12 overall because we play a tough out of conference. Mm-hmm. So 9-4 non-conference, 10-8. That's 19-12. 19-12 is the kind of record that we've gotten in the tournament before, but around the 7, 8, 9, 10 seed. That's why I'm saying if we go 19-12, I'd like to win a couple of SEC tournament games to get up over 20. We get up over 20, we're a 6, 7 seed, somewhere in there, maybe even 5.
Okay, that's fair.
That's my thinking. And that's the chicken's thinking. And you can't go against the chicken's thinking.
Cannot go against the chicken thinking. So that's this concludes the second annual chicken finger preview.
Well, how far did you think we're getting? You say we're getting in.
I think we're going to go I think we'll get out of the first weekend.
Yeah, me too.
All right. We're going to move on to football time.
Let's bring it on. Bring it on.
And before we get into the Georgia discussion, we got to talk about the news from today.
Yeah, so this is really one of those, it depends on who you are as to how you and what in your circumstances, it's how you react to it. It's funny, like let me walk through this a little bit, John. So the news is Well, you tell the folks what was announced today, and then I got a couple of thoughts about it.
All right. The news today is that the Baylor non-conference game is going to be played in Atlanta next year instead of in Auburn. And it was announced in a way where the AD made comments about the reason we're doing this is so we can make some money for NIL. That's what they said.
Well, they always say too much lately, this crowd. They just don't need to say anything.
Agree. Sometimes we don't have to go behind the scenes and explain our thinking because just do it. It's not always helpful.
Or say like what you say is we want to reach out to our Atlanta-based alumni and fans. You don't say we're doing it for the money. That's just dumb to say that. Oops, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move my chicken and stuff back over so I can put this away now. I will not be needing the chicken further. Is that correct? Okay. You may still be eating because you're like eating dinner and stuff. I've already had dinner. This was my second go round of the chicken. So I'm putting it away. I was putting it away. Now I'm putting it away, if you understand what I'm saying. All right. So here's my thoughts. One last little bite. Oh, I'm just banging all over the place. It's terrible radio or television, to be honest with you. All right. So what?
I have thoughts.
Okay.
As a person that likes to attend games in Auburn and wants more non-conference games on college campuses, I don't like this. So again, I think Van's going to be a fan because he's going to be at Dragon Con. It'll probably be that weekend. He could probably get to go. And again, my brother was in Atlanta. My in-law is living up. My sister and brother-in-law live in Atlanta. They can go to the game. It's exciting from that perspective, right? But I want to go from this direction. Okay.
Okay.
We played Penn State in Auburn in 2023. Is that correct? No, it was before that because it was Potato. It was 22.
21. I think we played in Penn State in 22 and in Auburn in 21.
No. We played in Penn State first.
Okay.
And Auburn second. So it was 22. Okay. So then no big non-conference in Auburn. Played at Baylor this year. Supposed to have Baylor come next year. Now we're not. Okay. There's not a big non-conference team signed for 27 and 28. In 29-30, we play Miami. Miami comes to Auburn in 2030. So it'll be 8 years between good non-conference opponents in Jordan-Hare, and I don't like that.
That's crazy.
In years when we're not playing Georgia and Alabama, we should have a good non-conference team in the stadium.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that 100%. So what did you say about 27-28? They don't have anybody?
We had the UCLA scheduled, and they canceled the game when they moved to the Big Ten. The Big Ten. Right now, we do not have a Power 5 team scheduled for 27-28. This is what we talked about this. There are 2 teams out there that have openings on their schedules for 27 and 28. Virginia Tech and Southern Cal.
Let's do it.
I'd love to see it. Based on this event, I'm a little skeptical that we're going to sign a big non-conference, especially the SEC going to 9 games. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, all right. No, it's hard to disagree with anything you just said. I totally get it. And it's the same thing. It's the same argument that I always make about being happy that Missouri's in the SEC, right?
Yes.
It's like, get this. This is what's so funny. No other SEC fan is happy that Missouri's in the SEC, including Missouri fans. I'm the only person.
Van Plexico.
I'm the only person. Missouri wants to be in the Big Ten. SEC wants them to be anywhere but the SEC, but I like them being in the SEC. And I'm particularly happy now because remember, I've just gone through an entire more than a decade of them playing in Missouri twice. In like 12 years, Auburn played at Missouri twice, which is twice more than Georgia's played at Texas A&M, but that's a whole other story. Okay, so now I'll get to go see Auburn at Missouri once every 4 years, which is a lot better than once every 6 or 7 years. Okay. So I'm happy about that. Similar thing here. The thing I don't understand, this is far from the first time Auburn has played an opening out-of-conference game in Atlanta.
It's true.
We did it in 12. We did it in 15. We did it with Oregon or Washington. One of those games was in Dallas. The other was in Atlanta.
Oregon was in Dallas. Washington was in Atlanta.
So at least 3 times in the last 10 or 11 years we played in Atlanta. And nobody said a word. Is it because they moved it?
Yes. Those games were one game only series, neutral site only. There was no expectation of home and home. Baylor got their home game.
That's right.
This has been on the schedule as an Auburn home game.
Oh yeah.
Now they moved it to Atlanta. That's why.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Yeah.
All right. But now again, so that was half of my question was, why are people more upset? Now I know. Okay. The other thing was, from my standpoint, I never get to go to Auburn opening week games because I'm always in Atlanta doing DragonCon. And now, like I did in 12 and 15, I don't think I went to the one. We have to ask Jared. I don't think that we went to the one with Washington at all. But I definitely went to the Clemson and Louisville games in 12 and 15. And so I'll be able to sneak away, hopefully be able to sneak over there and go to that. So for people that live in Atlanta and people that are in Atlanta that weekend, it's really a huge positive. But I totally get that that's a small minority of the fans, and I understand why it would make other people disappointed or upset or angry. And honestly, the last thing this crowd needs to do right now is give Auburn fans a reason to be disappointed and angry because they've not exactly been thrilling us the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I think we haven't spent a lot of time talking about this. The SEC is going to a 9-game conference schedule. What that means is some years you get 4 and some years you get 5. And
Good point.
So you get some years we're going to have fewer SEC home games. We need to make up for that with these other games. I also think we took a home game out of the Auburn community where the city of Auburn and the merchants there are going to make money and put it in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, the athletic department gets the big check. If it's in Auburn, the money is spread more equally among everybody. And the athletic department gets, they get ticket revenue, but it's not the same as the city giving them the people that run the Peach Bowl operation and giving them a check for $5 million.
Do we know for sure it'll still be the first week of the season? I've just been assuming.
I'm assuming as well. I haven't seen anything.
Okay. That don't because if it's any week other than the first week of the season, then I have no reason to be for it at all, right? So I'm totally kidding.
No, I think probably the Peach Bowl run these preseason games, and they were probably looking around trying to find a good non-conference matchup to bring in, and saw this one on the board and offered Auburn a pile of money.
That ours was already there. They didn't have to even go out and change.
That's right.
People's
They didn't have to go find something.
Yeah. I guess if it had, are Alabama and Florida State doing a return trip from there? Yeah. So I guess I wonder if they asked Alabama if they would move the Alabama-Florida State game, and they said no, and then Auburn said yes. That'd be even more of a reason to be kind of in a grouchy mood about it. If Alabama turned them down, and then
we have made fun of SEC teams for making decisions for money and doing these 2-for-1 deals and other stuff. And here we are doing it. So,
well, let's be honest. We're not playing at UMass or anything like that.
No,
it could be worse.
We're not playing Temple on the road or UMass.
It could be much worse. Yeah. Honestly, if Oklahoma goes to Kent State next year, I'm going to ask that they be removed. I've already demanded that Oklahoma vacate their win over us. They'll really love me when I demand they be kicked out of the conference if they do a return engagement with Kent State after their win last week. By the way, this is so fun. You'll appreciate this. I got a rising emerging contributor to Facebook award today, and it's because this is so good. I know it's like I've been on here for 17 years and suddenly I'm an emerging figure. Here, you're going to love this, John. Here is why Facebook decided I'm suddenly an emerging talent on Facebook. Because 2 weeks ago, I posted that article that the Texas sports writer wrote about Oklahoma should vacate the win. That's all I really did was just post that article, but I did it publicly. And about 100 Oklahoma people put laugh emojis on it. And Facebook does not read a laugh emoji necessarily as a negative. You can be laughing in a positive way or laughing in a derisive way, right? So I got 100 laughy emojis on that post, and that promoted me to being like a rising contributor because I said something that ticked off 100 Oklahoma fans. I just think that is so funny. I mean, at that point, I'm good. They've done their service for me, so and they were like calling me every name in the book. I don't care. That's fine. They call me whatever they want. I've heard much worse, but I just thought that was so funny. So thank you, Oklahoma fans, for making me an emerging star on Facebook with all your little laugh emojis. Do we anything else about Baylor? We want to get into the Georgia game.
Hit it.
You lied to me. Release the hounds.
Here they come, John. Here they come.
Oh, they'll be here any minute.
They will. They'll be here in just a few days. They'll just be here in a few days. Saturday night, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern on the American Broadcasting Network or channel or whatever they call it, company, American Broadcasting Company. It's a night game in Jordan-Hare, Auburn-Georgia. We don't play Georgia at night very often. It seems like we're usually in the afternoon.
We haven't played Georgia at night at home in close to 20 years.
I guess the last Georgia game I remember being at night was the 2005 in Athens, the Brandon Cox to
I know, but
Devin Romish
at home at night.
Yeah, that's been a minute.
Been a while.
It has. Yeah. So I'm about tired of losing to Georgia, and I'd really like to knock them off this week if at all possible, especially since you and I are both going to be down there.
That's right.
You got other stuff going on. That's cool. And you have did I miss something?
Keep going.
All right. Yeah. You got stuff going on. That's cool. You'll be at the game. I'm going to be hanging out with my sister a little bit, and then I'm going to go down on Saturday, and I'm going to do a book signing because our book is coming out this week to the public, right? The Kickstarter people long since got their signed copies. So now it's the paperback edition, not the hardcover and not signed copies, but just the paperback edition is coming out this week, and I will have the first paperback copies available at Auburn Oil Booksellers near Toomer's Corner on, what is that?
Saturday.
Magnolia? On Magnolia?
Oh.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah,
right down for Toomer's Corner.
Yeah, it's not on College; it's on Magnolia. Yeah, just a little bit back from Toomer's Corner. So come on by and pick up your copies, and that'll be fun. I'll be there a good chunk of the day, and I think also the guy that wrote that new book about the Iron Bowl is going to be there.
Cool.
The book called Blood in the Iron or something, Iron in the Blood. So he's going to be there, and I'm going to be there. Should be awesome. I got to remember to take the table throw. Dang. Make a note. So, yeah, come on down. So, Georgia. What is the deal with Georgia, John? Tell us. Enlighten us.
All right. So, how good is Georgia? Good question. They're good. They're not awesome, world-beating good. Okay. So, I think in SP Plus, they're 10th, but that's a big jump up this week. They've beaten Tennessee. Is the one good team they beat, and you remember that game was at Tennessee. It was a shootout. They won at the very end.
That was something.
And we found out that Tennessee, went to Mississippi State, played them very evenly. Georgia also beat Kentucky. That was in Athens, and they beat a couple of cupcakes. They've lost to Alabama at home, and Alabama kind of owns them, and that was Georgia was in that game in the fourth quarter. So I think they're a good team. They are not on the same level as those Georgia teams that won the national title back to back.
Good.
I think they're a legitimate team that could win games and And if things break their way, they could win the SEC, but they're not a force of nature kind of team like those teams. So let's get into it a little bit. When Georgia's on offense and Auburn is on defense, the single biggest thing to me is Gunnar Stockton is a young quarterback that's going to be playing on the road in Jordan-Hare at night. And I think that is worth a tremendous amount to us. I think here's the other thing. Georgia wants to run the ball. Well, we talked about this in the preseason. Last year, they were bad at running the ball. They depended way too much on Carson Beck. They were, 15th in the SEC in rushing offense. This year, they're 4th. And they run the ball like 68% of the time and throw the ball like 32% of the time. They are a big time run the ball team, and it's because they're trying to take pressure off Stockton. They don't want him to be in a situation. And if you watch that Kentucky game this weekend, there's moments he looks a lot like Jackson Arnold running the ball. He's a good athlete. He's a little bit kind of a stronger quarterback. He can shake off some guys. And he can get away from people. So I think we have to watch out for him. We got to spy him. But Auburn's run defense has been really strong this season. It's one of the best in the country. And they want to Georgia wants to run the ball. That is the ball game to me. We stop them running the ball with our run defense, we're going to be in a decent position.
All right. I have a few thoughts about what you just said. Georgia's beaten us way too many times recently.
Blasphemy!
Yeah. We have it. We need to settle some scores with them. And
all will be settled.
I'm not sure how we're going to do it.
Someone knows. God knows.
Georgia thought about not coming to this game because they said,
"We do not want it, and we may not win."
That's right. But I feel like we're due simply because
Scott Wilson.
This is true.
And I hope that our running backs can get some yardage, and
Do yourself no injury.
that would be really good. And I mean, Kirby Smart may be a pretty good coach, but he's not like he can say,
"And I am the King of England."
No. So, John, we need all the Auburn fans, all the Auburn players, get fired up, gather around, and
Assemble the army!
let's do it. Come on. Let's go.
I am fired up. I'm excited. I think, this Georgia team is beatable, and we have them at home at night. We have a good defense. We have a chance. We're going to be in the game. Georgia turns the ball over a lot. They are near the bottom of the league in turnover margin. Stockton does not throw the ball downfield much. Almost all of his throws are like less than 5 or 6 yards, right around the line of scrimmage, and most are to the outside near the sideline. They don't let him throw deep down the middle at all. He'll take 1 or 2 shots per game down the sideline, but our defense can play against that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can hold up against that. They have good tight ends. I think that's going to be a challenge for us to cover them.
No kidding.
They have a good freshman running back named Chauncey Bowens, who leads them in rushing. He's pretty good. They have a couple of transfer receivers, Colby Young, and then we talked about Zachariah Branch in the preseason. He's number 2 for them. He's a little guy. He's more of a gadget player, kick returner kind of guy, but they get him a lot of these end arounds and little screens and stuff because he's dangerous.
This game feels to me like if we're going to win it, it would need to be our Texas A&M game last year, where we just rise up, emotional, the stadium, the fans, the magic of Jordan-Hare at night, and just drag them through 4 bloody overtimes and just beat their brains in. That's what it feels like to me.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. When we're on offense and they're on defense, their run defense has been good. Their defensive line is not the same as it was several years ago. I don't think it's as good as Oklahoma's, to be honest. Their secondary has not been great either. They've lost a lot of experienced secondary guys, and Tennessee and Alabama both threw the ball all over them. So it scares me to say this, but I'm going to say it. Like, they're better against the run than against the pass. Maybe we need to throw the ball some.
Well, you know what's funny though is if we come out and do that, if we come out and are throwing the ball and not running again, fans that maybe don't understand what you just said and all they know is here we go again, may come out of the stands and strangle Freeze right there on the sideline.
I get it. I mean, let's go the other direction. If we come out there, go 3 and out 3 or 4 times early in the game, the natives are going to get restless.
Well, if we come out and let's say that we end up receiving the opening kickoff and we go out on the field and let's say Jackson Arnold throws 3 incomplete passes and we punt, Freeze may not see the second series of the game. I think people would dive out of the deck onto him. So I don't know. I mean, we've got to establish the run. If we could have established the run against Oklahoma and Texas A&M, we can do it against these guys.
I know. I get very fair, very true. And they're not nearly as good as that group 3 years ago that won the national title. Let's be clear. They are near the bottom of the league in sacks and tackles for loss. It's
good. True. Although that we might help them improve.
We may goose their stats in the area, but they're not that kind of defense, really. I mean,
did you see Freeze's comments about our offensive lineman?
No.
The one that kept jumping false start?
No.
He said that they determined he has a problem hearing in loud. He actually has a diagnosed problem hearing that he wished they had figured out earlier. And so they're trying to work like some other system, hand signals or something, so that he's not put in that position. Because he said that when he was able to do what he was supposed to do, he did great, but he just too many times he wasn't sure what to do. He wasn't sure what the deal was. He couldn't hear. So I hope they can fix that, because that's not good.
No, not good. Georgia's best players on defense are our linebacker C.J. Allen and our old friend K.J. Bolden at safety.
Oh boy.
On the special teams front, this is where I'm a little worried. Georgia's special teams are in the top 5 in the country. They are really good at special teams every phase, and we have got to.
We are not in the top 5. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and guess we are not in the top 5 in the country.
No, and I thought we'd be better, but we have not exposed that yet. We have got to, we can't give the game away at special teams. We got to at least play to a draw there. It's my goal.
Yes. That will take the best game of the year from special teams.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
they got to play a good game.
We've got to have pretty much the best game of the year from every element of the team.
We got to make fewer mistakes. That's right. And we need to make fewer mistakes. We need Georgia to make mistakes.
Let's be fair. One of the mistakes we haven't made is turnovers. We have been compared to the last 2 or 3 years, we have been a relatively turnover-free team.
True. And Georgia has turned the ball over a decent amount. So that's an area where we could get a turnover or two and take advantage of it. That'd be huge.
And the defense has scored or put us in scoring position, although it was taken away, the first one, 2 weeks in a row.
That's right.
They put it in the end zone against Oklahoma, and they put it to the 2-yard line, which left me wondering, to be honest, against Texas A&M. Yeah, I was a little concerned. I'm like, oh, no. I said that last week, but I really was like chewing my fingernails like, oh, no, you couldn't have gotten the last 2 yards, man. Come on. But it's possible.
It is. When the schedule came out and I saw the game was at night, I really thought we can do this. It's possible. Young quarterback on the road. They're a team that wants to run, and we can stop the run. We can do that one thing.
If this Auburn team was doing everything it's doing now, plus special teams were playing more consistently, and the passing game was what we expected, well, we'd be 5-0, but also I would absolutely feel good about this game. I would feel like we could win by double digits.
Yeah.
As it is, I have no idea.
I mean, I think it's going to be a game in the low 20s. It could even be like, 21-20, 2017, something like that. And I think we have a real chance against them in this game just because of Jordan Hare at night is some voodoo kind of stuff. And I think Georgia is a team that wants to run the ball, and I think we can stop them from doing that.
Georgia's going to score between 20 and 25 to 28, somewhere in there, in the 20s in points. The question is, can Auburn score in the 20s in this game?
Yes.
That's the question. That's it.
And we may need, like you said, a turnover to help us get the short field to help us do that.
We'll need the defense to do something. We may need the special teams to do something. We got that against Baylor, remember, run the punt back or the kickoff. So if we could get a defensive score or a really good position turnover, get a special teams, flip the field kind of play, something to where we can score in the 20s without the offense having to score in the 20s and do all without going 80 yards every time, just, to do it. Because I feel like in this game, Auburn's offense can do 13. But if we can get a defensive score and get to 20, now we could be looking at overtime. Or if we could get a special teams play or something and get a field goal out of that, 23 to 20, 23-21. That's where I feel like we have to get to.
Okay. You just said the words overtime. The last time you and I were in the stadium for a Georgia game was the Bo Nix era Georgia game, which went to overtime.
That was painful, that game. Oh, man. We should have, Well, that was the one that was just like the 94 Alabama game, right? Where they got ahead early and then we came back.
We did nothing for 80% of the game and then turned it on in the last few minutes.
And it's too late. Yeah, we left it too late. So we've had some interesting overtime games with Georgia over the years. So why another? The very first overtime game in SEC history was Auburn-Georgia in '96. I was at that game. And it was 4 overtimes. And I have admitted, and I've done penance for the fact, because I didn't know then what I know now. And I had to drive back to the other side of Atlanta that night. And it was it was like the 7:30 ESPN game. So by this point, it's like 11:30 at night, and I've still got to drive to the other side of Atlanta. I'm looking at getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I literally said out of my mouth, this filthy mouth right here, I said, I don't care at this point if we win or lose. I just want to go home. And then we lost. And I'm like, oh, why did you say that? I'm sure it was all my fault.
You're a fan.
All my fault.
All right. That's enough fun with Georgia. Let's go to the pick'em.
Yeah. How's it looking? How's it shaping up?
All right. It's still very, very close. On this week, there wasn't a lot of SEC games. There were 4 people who got 5 correct. Get Low for Lou, Connor Lowe. That's hard to say. I don't speak Italian. Big AU fan WHB and Sir Bacon the First all got 5 correct this week. And then a large number of people got 4 correct. I got 3 correct because I went with Vanderbilt because I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, I did too. I only got 2 right this week because I picked upsets that I thought were likely, and then we didn't get nearly as many upsets. We got some upsets. We're going to talk about them in a minute. They just weren't in the SEC.
So the leaders are Auburn football's Elvis and Cato the Barner are 56-9 at this point in the season. That's impressive. All right, Formula One.
Formula One update. It's pretty much holding steady. Our Formula One league. Michael Kirshner's Formula MK2 continues to just pull away. I did a little investigation here, and what I've determined is that Michael was somehow able to get McLaren and Mercedes as his teams both at the same time. I guess he got them when their prices were lower. And that's just been racking it up for him. So he's getting like 50 points a week more than anybody else now, and he's just going to keep the pedal down the rest. It's like we're in Monaco, and he got the lead on the first lap. It's over. He's just keeping the gas down, and making the back end real wide, and we're never going to catch him. So War Eagle Racing, one of my teams, is in second. It's funny. I actually swapped out. I swapped out Oscar Piastri for Max Verstappen, just the form he's been on lately, and I'm in second. And then Lane Middleton's non-offensive name 2025 is in third with Piastri. Mandy Thompson's All Burnout with Lando is in fourth, and Brett Wiggins Team Racing with Lando and Piastri and McLaren. I don't know how people do this. I don't know how you manage to get these on your team, but. And then my other team is number 6. John Stubbs Pearl's Pit Crew at 7. Eric Morgan's Mississippi Racing 2 is 8. Lane Middleton's other team, Flavio, is sketchy number 9. And Michael Kirshner's other team is number 10. So it really does. At this point, Michael Kirshner's first team is about 500 points ahead of everybody else. And it's just, I think it's pretty much done. That was after Singapore. I don't remember where they're going next. But that wasn't a very exciting race in Singapore. It was a parade for 2 hours, so that was unfortunate. Did you get to see any of that one?
A little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot. The only interesting thing in it was that Lando collided with Oscar on the first lap, and Oscar's like, so we're just going to do this now, huh? He's like, so this is just how it's going to be, huh? We're not going to do anything about it, huh? Okay, all right, gotcha. That was pretty funny. All right, let's thank the patrons. We did have a book update. Again, I'm going to be signing books in Auburn, Alabama this weekend at Auburn Oil Booksellers near Toomer's Corner. So on Saturday, just on Saturday. I'll be driving down all day Friday and driving up all day Sunday. So Saturday's my day. We got to thank the patrons. Remember, the main thing is you keep the show going, but also we don't have any ads. And I'm going to keep turning down the ads as long as we keep having patrons keeping us going. www.auwishbone.com www.auwishbone.com. Here are the fine folks that what did these folks sacrifice to help our show? The same thing that Logan Chilton asks, and that is,
So what do I sacrifice?
everything, or at least, a couple of bucks. The great, of course, we lead off. I had to put that in there, but we lead off with the great Samuel Salvatore, who always reminds us that tonight's forecast,
A freeze is coming.
with Stephen Pearl snow. Very exciting. Ben Spooner, man, if we lose to Georgia again, it would simply be
Blasphemy!
That's right. Carl Von Drunker. John,
Yes.
thoughts? I thought you were signaling you had a thought. Okay.
That was blasphemy.
Blasphemy. Carl Von Drunker, Chris and Clinton Stewart. Bella Chick has lost his man card. Earl Ricks, Phil Amthor. This is pretty much what I would be saying if things don't work out so well on Saturday.
No! I'm devastated! I'm devastated and they're celebrating right in front of me! This is the worst! This is the worst! No!
Oh, man. Richard Stevens, Steve Trawick, Ann Pridgeon, Shane Bailey, Susan Trawick, Willie Carden, Matt Flowers, Wynn from Norman, Oklahoma, was singing this tune Saturday night at Bison Witches.
My head hurts, my feet stink, and I don't love Jesus. That kind of morning really was that kind of night.
Yeah, well, it won't be that kind of night Saturday. Gary Grant, a.k.a. AU fan at KSC, Auburn Intramural Rec League football champion, winter quarter 1987. William Morgan, Bradley Blackman, Eric Morgan, Michael Kirshner, our current F1 leader. If Carol Shelby could see Texas fans, who did Texas play? Florida.
Florida.
If Carol Shelby could see Texas fans, he would simply say.
I don't speak Italian, but he ain't happy.
Yeah, no, that's right. We'll have a little bit to say about that in another game in just a second. David WDE Salmons Esquire, Harry Zaggard, G Money, Chris Thrash, Rich Reimer, Steve Harlan, Wes Atkinson, freeze warning, offense approaching absolute zero.
Frosty!
A few more patrons, then back to the authorities. Catherine England, no one fights like Gaston, War Eagle always, Mickey B. And then there's what we may be having to do, this is kind of what we did with the basketball roster.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Went to that portal. And they all staying. I don't know if we've updated that, right? That they all are going to stay. Nobody's transferring out on the basketball team. There you go. Theodore Gary, Winston Body, defending fantasy F1 drivers and manufacturers champion Lane Middleton. Woo, when I drink all this tea that we just drank, I can do these things fast. Brandon Smith, Daniel Odom, Rhodesian Mudflap, H-Town Danny, WD Richie Week 2 2025 football champion. Chris Hilton, Ben Bloodworth. Of course, our football players don't wear glasses. It's a contact sport. Algorithm and Blues. I always enjoy what Algorithm does with that. Rusty Owens, In-Home Hugh, Luther, and Kelly Ottaway, a Russian acrobat who always says yes to danger, works without a yet. Can't touch that. I should give him a... That's all you're getting, sorry. Todd loves telling Bama fans that Freeze now has more championships during his tenure than Saban. Because that right there...
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement.
But you know what?
You know what I mean? It's factual.
It is factual. Woody the Jag, the official 2024 Bowl Mania champion. Chad McDowell, Auburn football's Elvis, Wade Ward. By the way, little shout out to folks that don't like recognizing all of our actual national championships and still, Auburn people. I'm not talking about other programs because they're always going to say whatever and screw them. If you're a big-time Auburn fan and you're rejecting our 9 national championships, just understand that's going to – I hear it all the time. Understand that is how it is now and how it's going to be. And you're just reminding people to ask questions rather than just go along with it and enjoy it. Yes, John.
They're on the wall in the stadium, man. It ain't coming back. It ain't changing. That's what the deal is.
Look, if they go, if we change athletic directors the next couple of years and that person goes and paints over all of them but 2, I'm going to go in there and paint them back. It may be a little, ragged. I'll, kind of like cursive or something, and different size letters and all, whatever. But I'll rig up a little sling on that thing and I'll hang down there and I'll paint them back. You know what? I'm going to give Reynolds the
like an unwanted neighbor that comes over and visits.
From the Weather Channel, Reynolds Wolf.
Thunder snow.
I love that. Jeff Hunter, Timothy, Russell Milling, Randall Walker, David Simpson, Josh Teal, Tony Perry, Rob Morgan, Patrick Williams says the AU Wishbone is simply...
Whether you like it or not, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today.
Woo! Construction Tiger, Papa Todd, Cato the Barner, Stephen Houston, Kevin Mahan, Blake Heron, Sarah Hines, Sasquatch, the reigning basketball bracket champion. John, I just learned today that Sasquatch is also the 6th time. And Tim Pittman, joining us here in the studio, Boris the Tiger. What? Charles Mooney, he's just kind of been out of the way because we were doing I didn't want to get chicken sauce on him. Charles Mooney, I booked plane tickets on Origami Airlines, but they folded before the trip. I just don't know where people come up with these. There's somebody that is paid to think of these things. Good Lord. I just don't know. David D, Auburn Blue, Dr. Crackham, Bill Weathers. If you're wondering why it sounds so random and of an order now, it's like they're still in tiers, T-I-E-R-S, but for some reason Patreon ranks them just randomly now, all of our patrons. So the order is totally different than it ever has been. So whatever.
Tiers have van in tiers.
What?
The tiers have van in tiers.
Yeah, they do. Melissa Blackstone, Philip Martin, Wardam SEC champions. Walt will be proudly wearing my Run the Damn Ball hat Saturday night against UGA.
Please clap.
I like it. Antoine Morris, ABB. Wiggy Bird, 2005 Auburn University Intramural Horseshoes champion. Tyler Ward, the 2025 War Ready bracket champion. Joey Miller, Alex Wynn. Kenneth Brent Raines reminds us that the barbecue, once again.
You have failed me for the last time.
We keep saying that. AKA Auburn Dad for life. John Stubbs, Clay Henson, Justin Bean, James Taylor, and finally, Ruth and Darren Sutherland, Stephen Thompson, Ben Amos, Spanky. I'm at the bottom of this list because.
Graduation! Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
Chris Como, Darren Pyle, David Smiley, Trevor Johnson, Royce Alvarez, college equestrian expert Auburn Elvis. That's very true. AU Falling Up, John Atsuki, Paul Banks, and Russell Souther. MVP, our very own captivating Kathy Bright.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
Ben Regas, Bobby Polite, Elizabeth Donald, I'll buy this for $1, Rich Hammett, Chris Braun, Alex Browns, insert name here, bottom text. The Slinko family, Daniel Witten, Tim Sauls, Jim McCrory, after Trump jailed him, Elon Musk escaped from Alligator Alcatraz, but was eaten. See you later, Elongator. New York Tiger, Steve Bailey, CT Tiger, Jim Myers, Trey Jackson, David Garner, Peter Wang, Willie Moe, Chris, and our one-time and great anonymous donors. We thank you all. www.auwishbone and the .com goes right there at the end. All right. I think everything else is on hiatus, so we have to get.
Thank you. Order. Questions to the Prime Minister.
It's time for listener questions. Dun, 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 on the AU Wishbone podcast.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
All right. What do we got in that unlawful bunch?
All right. First emails from frequent emailer Bill Miner, who says the subject line is AU Wishbone Festivus. He says, hey, guys, I was enjoying your podcast as always, and with so many comments that sounded like grievances. It made me think that there needs to be an AU Wishbone Festivus every December. It's a lighter time of the year, and you could solicit patrons and others to air their Auburn grievances in the form of emails to send you as part of the show. He says, on a side note, Marshall did wear an Auburn shirt in the How I Met Your Mother episode, which made my day when it aired. Do you have a favorite show of yours that included an Auburn reference, and how would it appear?
Oh, my favorite was from the original Ocean's 11.
I got great news for you.
Auburn beat Alabama by 12 points.
No, this is important, honestly.
That's the bit. Frank Sinatra and Angie Dickinson. You can't beat that.
That's way up there.
Yeah. Yep. I know there have been others.
In Avengers Age of Ultron, there is when they go to I'm going to get Van now. When they go to the tanker where the vibranium is.
Oh, yeah.
One of the guys working there, one of the workers in the beach tanker is wearing a Bo Jackson jersey.
Oh, wow. So like the tanker where like Batroc, the Leaper, and everybody's fighting him. I think that's
no, it's what's his name? Not that. That's in Captain America. This is this is when Ultron and the robots show up, but also there's the pirates or whatever that are with.
Okay. I'm totally going to go back and rewatch that then. I'd forgotten all about that. Good call. All right.
There's probably some other ones, but for TV shows stuff, but I can't think of them.
Yeah.
But I like this Festivus idea because believe me, I got problems with you people and you got grievances. And so
you're going to get your plain aluminum pole on a stand out and set it up, and then we'll go to it.
Next email is from Cato, who says, hey, fellas, the subject line is, we need warm bodies. He says, hey, fellas, I had a question on a topic that seems to have dropped off the radar for now, but is still worrying me. We're currently ranked 50th overall in recruiting. The theory we were sold was that come August, these players are committed elsewhere and realized their contracts weren't what they were promised. Auburn would rack up a bunch of wins. We'd sit back and watch as this poor, disfranchised recruits would fall into our lap. So far, that hasn't happened yet. We're wildly underperformed in our usual recruiting hotbed states. We have 2 of the top 25 recruits in Mississippi, 1 top 25 recruit in Alabama, and 0 top 25 recruits in Georgia, Florida, or Tennessee. I keep hearing we're ranked low because we have so few recruits. All we've had to do is add some commitments and we'll just jump up. That's not wrong, but it ignores the obvious follow-up question. Where are these commits coming from? Only 2 of the top 300 recruits are uncommitted at this point, meaning any quality recruits from here on out got to be flips. To reach a top 10 class, Auburn would have to add a 5-star, 6 4-stars, and at least a few 3-stars all in the next month and a half. I assume we'll flip 1 or 2, but flipping 10 players is an impossible task. So where are these players coming from? Thank you, Cato, the recruiting analyst.
Well, I think that the way I've been I haven't thought it like specifically, but just subconsciously, the way I've been thinking of it is, if things go really well this season, it'll take care of itself. And if things don't go really well this season, it'll take care of itself.
Okay. Van has spoken. Our next email is from Rusty Owens, whose subject line is Jabba, left tackle edition, and apportionment of blame.
Oh.
He says, okay, I'm sure there's some people after the last couple of poor performances by our $1 million left tackle that wanted to know if he was deaf. Well, I'm sure you heard today, but in case you didn't, Hugh mentioned in the press conference that Xavier Chaplin has a hearing issue. Now I have a few questions. First, we have had weird player issues in the past. In the modern era, can you think of one stranger than having a left tackle who can't hear, which you'd think would be an issue in 100,000-seat stadiums? Second, how do we apportion blame for this fiasco? Do we think Chaplin lied to get the big paycheck? Did we not find that it's physical? How do we miss this? We were told a few weeks ago they were practicing with huge speakers situated by the offensive line drills. If they didn't miss it, then whose idea was it to do a snap cadence on the road? Looking forward to the trial of the offensive staff in a few weeks, Rusty Owens.
I know. I was thinking similar.
Let me say this. Xavier Chaplin played at Virginia Tech. I saw him play there. I saw him play in big stadiums with that team, and it was not this bad. So,
yeah, no, that's true.
Let
me breaking news on the air right now. The great Samuel Salvatore just texted me. Texas is favored over Oklahoma. How?
John Mateer's not playing. That's how.
Okay.
They're playing the backup quarterback Hawkins. I think he's going to play. Mateer is out.
Okay.
So I think. We're going to challenge. Do you know what the spread in the Auburn-Georgia game is?
It ought to be about 12, but I bet it's closer since it's in Auburn at night.
4.5.
That's crazy. I mean, we're Auburn fans finding a way to figure out how we can win, but that's not Vegas's job. They're trying to figure out what the people are what's going to divide the money. And I would have thought it would be way more toward Georgia for dividing the money. Don't you think?
Yes. But Oklahoma's defense is better than Georgia. A&M's defense is better than Georgia.
Okay. All right.
All right. Next email is from Trey Jackson, who says, hey, John Van, you don't have to read this on the show. I just wanted to say thank you for all you.
I said, welp.
I'm reading
you say as you read it on the show.
I'll get there. He says, I just want to say thank you for all you do. I think tonight is the chicken finger episode, and I'm the one who wrote in with the idea a year or so ago.
Nice.
He says, I'm not exaggerating. Having an idea included in the annual rotation of the show is one of my favorite accomplishments. I love the show. I'm proud to be a patron. I look forward to the new episode every week. It's not easy being an Auburn fan, but sharing that within a community like this one makes it worth it. Thanks, and War Eagle, Trey Jackson.
Trey, we appreciate you, man. That's a great idea. You know, honestly, it's one of those ideas I don't know how we didn't think of years ago. And Trey just comes in like, dude, how are y'all not doing this? And John and I are like, how are we not doing this? So way to go. Good on you.
It's brilliant. All right. That's our last email.
John, you remember how we felt? We're going to get in the Wayback Machine. In fact, we're going to get in the TARDIS. We're going back in the Wayback Machine all the way to the 80s, the greatest decade in pop culture history, when you and I were high school and college students with all of our friends. By the way, quick digression. I saw there was an article tonight in one of the Apple News things, like 40 years after Ferris Bueller, Where Are They Now? And it was talking about how that movie came out in like June of 86. And I'm like, I suddenly for the first time understand why Ferris Bueller's Day Off never really resonated with me like it did for so many people I knew. It's because June of 86, I'd already graduated from high school, but I hadn't started Auburn yet. It was that little dead period where my high school friends are kind of gone one way. I haven't met you and my other many college friends yet. And so I probably went and saw it by myself that summer, and it was just a movie. Because that's one of those movies that speaks to a generation, but if you see it by yourself and don't have anybody to talk with it about, it just kind of comes and goes, right? So it was really only in later years that I realized that was us. See, Ferris was like Ferris was like your age, like a year younger than me, basically, in that movie. And so that was the thing. So that it really did speak to Generation X the way that it did. Anyway, so that was I have no idea where I was going with that, but that seemed more important.
Okay.
Once I got started.
All right, it's time to take a trip.
Let's take a trip around the SEC to wrap things up tonight. Georgia beat Kentucky 35-14, and honestly, it wasn't even that close. Georgia was pretty much in control the whole way. Worried me a little bit because if they can do that to Kentucky.
Listen, Kentucky is the bottom team in the SEC by a mile.
By a mile, yeah.
They're starting a redshirt freshman quarterback who is bad. There's no players on Kentucky's offense that would start on Auburn's offense.
I'm very glad to hear that. Man, for a little while, Vanderbilt teased us, right? They were going back
for a little while. They were in this game. They turned the ball over twice in inside the 10-yard line. It was going to be 10-0 Vanderbilt. Like it was 7-0, and they had the ball at the 5-yard line and turned it over.
Yeah, they kind of blew this one, but it was in Alabama. It's not shocking that it played out that way.
No, but it was not a 30-14 game. It was a 20-14 game,
or 30-28,
or 30-28, or 30-24 or something. So
yeah, Florida 29, the Texas Longhorns 21. Texas's defense. I didn't get to see this game because I was at Archon all weekend, but I watched the 20-minute highlight package. I do that a lot these days. I get up on Sunday morning to go like brush my teeth and shave and whatever, and I just turn the iPad on to YouTube and I just watch back-to-back game highlights of every game I missed that I wanted to see. And I watched this one and I was just like, it was like Florida was up pretty big. Wasn't it like Florida 20-something, Texas 7 at one point? And Texas kind of fought back a little bit, but Texas defense looked like tissue paper in the first half. I couldn't believe it.
It did, but I mean, Florida's defense is really legitimately good, and that's a tough place to play. And Texas offense is kind of just okay.
Texas is learning. It's one thing to win in the Big 12. It's another to play an SEC schedule every week. And just Texas is just another SEC team now.
They are.
They're not the Goliath of their conference anymore. They're just another Ole Miss, just another Georgia, just another on a good day, LSU on a bad day.
Yeah.
Auburn. Yeah. Oklahoma 44, Kent State 0. Mateer still hurt, as you pointed out, and we'll see that's going to happen again against in the Red River Shootout. Texas A&M 31, Mississippi State 9. I had Mississippi State pulling this upset because Mississippi State has been on a run of good form lately. They've really been on a run of good form.
This was close at halftime.
Close for a while, yeah. But the Aggies really kind of turned it on the second half and grounded them down. Good defense.
Yeah.
I want to note we are the only team to hold Texas A&M below like 30 points now.
Yes.
We held them to what, 15 in their own stadium?
That's right.
Everybody else 30 or higher. All right, here we go. This is not an SEC game, but I had to put it on here. UCLA, Penn State. UCLA led like 27-7 at halftime. They almost choked it away in the second half, but held on. And what really impressed me, UCLA has the Tennessee transfer quarterback that was kind of like reaping his karma by doing all the shenanigans he did, and then he ended up going like 0-4. It absolutely looked like UCLA was the undefeated team, and Penn State was the winless team. UCLA had their way with Penn State, and that guy looked like Cam Newton running over the Penn State defense. He not quite, but he looked like 80% of Cam Newton. Yeah, just destroyed Penn State. Is that the end of Franklin there?
Well, I don't think they're going to fire him, but I think they're going to encourage him to look for other employment.
Kind of like Gus at Central Florida.
Yeah, but again, a week ago, they were in the top 2 or 3 and played Oregon in that night game and went to overtime. If they'd have won that game, I think they'd have been fine, but they lost in brutal fashion. They weren't mentally ready to play this game. They didn't get up at all. They didn't respect their opponent, and UCLA made them pay.
You say destroyed them. It was ugly. I mean, again, the final score was like 30-20 something, but that's because UCLA, because Penn State was like kicking onside kicks every other play at the end of the game to get back in it. But it was terrible. It was terrible.
It was one of the most dramatic, embarrassing losses I remember for a team.
Yes. All right. So coming up this week, Alabama at Missouri at noon on ABC. That's going to be interesting. That's one of those I'll be watching on my phone while I'm sitting in front of the bookstore. Washington State at Ole Miss. That's a weird matchup, isn't it? The Pac-2 coming to Oxford.
Washington State, again, they don't have a conference schedule, so they're desperate to play people. They're not good, so Ole Miss is going to kill them. So
I feel bad for Washington. I honestly feel so bad for Washington State and Oregon State that I just root for them in like every game now.
I do too.
They deserve so much better than what they've gotten. Oklahoma at Texas is the 2:30/3:30 ABC game. Arkansas, we'll talk about that. We've already talked about that. Arkansas at Tennessee. So the Fighting Bobby Petrinos go to the Big House in Knoxville. That I don't know. I don't really feel like that's going to amount to something after like the first quarter.
No, they may hang around and be frisky, but
yeah.
I mean, if he wins this game, are they like offer Petrino the job immediately? Or?
Good God. All right, here's one of the more intriguing matchups. Florida at Texas A&M, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, ESPN. Florida at Texas A&M. So Texas A&M, having done the things they've done, beating us barely, beating everybody else they've played pretty handily. Florida coming in off of their big win over Texas. Florida kind of a mystery team, the mystery box team.
No,
I have no idea what to.
Florida's defense is good. I think Florida's offense, they have a good quarterback, but he's been not great. But they had a couple of young receivers come on in that Texas game. I think they may be, doing their little bit of a midseason turnaround. I think they're going to make this a game. I think it's going to be entertaining.
I feel like Texas A&M's offense can score against Florida's defense marginally more than vice versa.
Agree.
So this game feels to me like a 31-24 Texas A&M win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Florida's going to give them a good game.
Could see that.
Score more points than we did on them. And then South Carolina at LSU is the late game. I mean, South Carolina got embarrassed by Vandy, but otherwise they've looked pretty good. They've looked okay.
Again, is Eller's healthy is the big question. If he's healthy, he could go down there and put on a show. But
Yeah.
LSU's defense is pretty good, I think. I think LSU's
Their offense is not.
Yeah.
So this could be a really ugly, low-scoring slop fest. This is a game that needs to be played in a driving rain in the mud, honestly. 6-3, 9-6. Yeah. All right. Your non-conference game to watch.
All right. Friday night, South Florida at North Texas, 7:30 in ESPN. These are two of the – this may be the winner gets the group of 5 spot in the playoff game.
Holy cow. North Texas in the playoffs.
They're good.
North Texas.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
You
kidding me? Playoffs?
We know South Florida's good. I'm just saying. And then Saturday, again, that's a Friday night warm-up game. Saturday afternoon in the 3:30 spot opposite Oklahoma, Texas, Indiana at Oregon. You remember that Indiana game that when they beat the snot of Illinois? Now they go to Oregon. This is a huge Big Ten game.
As a newly minted Illinois fan, I was not happy about that. And my daughter, who may be a newly minted, actually, Mira just sent in the last of her application materials to the University of Illinois today.
Exciting.
She's already gotten accepted to Kansas State, and Bradley offered her a big scholarship.
Nice.
And I'm like, she told me about her big scholarship offer from Bradley. I'm like, well, that's settled. There we go. You're a Bradley Brave, my dear. And she's like, no. The crazy thing is that Bradley's in Peoria, and that's where her sister lives. I'm like, there you go, Bradley. We'll never pay a cent. You can go visit your sister anytime you want. Free lodging. But no, apparently she wants to go to Champaign-Urbana or Urbana-Champaign. So, well. And did I mention we've actually got tickets to an Illinois game later this year, so she can go back up there.
It's getting ready to be a Big Ten podcast. I can feel it.
It's gonna be the Auburn and Illinois Fighting Illini podcast with Bert. I don't have Bert on here anymore. I don't have the. All right, so Indiana, Oregon does sound intriguing. I never thought I would say that, but it does. So. All right, John, we once again pulled this sucker in less than 2 hours. Any final thoughts?
Well, 2 thoughts. One is I hate Georgia. I'm tired of losing to them. Let's go take care of business Saturday night.
Go ahead. I got
and
something.
then it's week 6. The season is flying by. Enjoy every minute while you can.
Amen. I just remembered the other thing I was going to say is we went back in time to the mid-'80s. Because do you remember 1987? We had lost to Florida 3 years, just 3 years in a row. And remember how bad we wanted to beat Florida in 87. Remember that? That was the Halloween night game in Jordan Hare.
It was great.
And we were just giving Kerwin Bell crap for 3 hours, just relentless. Okay, that was just after 3. Imagine where we are with Georgia right now. And how much worse we want to beat Georgia than we wanted to beat Florida back in 1987. There should be so much palpable psychic energy coming down out of that crowd, out of that stand, into those Georgia players as to render them practically paralyzed. That's what I want to see. I want their knees knocking and them wetting their pants when they come out on the field because that intimidating atmosphere is so overwhelming. That's what I want, John.
Amen.
That'll help. Can't hurt.
That's right.
All right. We're going to get on out of here. And, John, I will see you, hopefully, at some point in the loveliest village come Saturday. Our time is up. We thank you for yours. War Eagle, John.
Ring it, man.